Hello there, I'm Greg, also known as That Ginger Brit, and today I'm in a park. I'm in a lovely local park, and I figured that I would discuss Summer in the City 2016, because I feel that not enough people are talking about that, you know? It's quite an under-the-radar topic. Have you heard anyone talk about it? I certainly haven't, not a soul. So I thought I'd fill that niche, or niche, depending on how it's pronounced. I don't know things. I'm young. So this video is going to be split into two parts, one of which is just going to be my general thoughts on what Sitsi was like, because it was my first ever year, and the second part is going to be sort of a response to both Neve and Fran's videos on a very specific aspect of Summer in the City. So if you want to skip to that bit, then do that. Click this to skip to that, and you'll just go right there. So yes, this was my first ever Summer in the City. It was, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I was overwhelmed with just the environment and the whole, hey, you've got to stay in London for a weekend. Have you ever done that before? No. First time for that, so whoa, I loved it. I really did have a great time. I went with my beautiful friend Beth. She also had a great time. It was expensive, but we had fun. At the event, I was talking to other people, and they said that it was the biggest that it had ever been in its 8, I think, years of history. The scale was improved, the just general hecticness was just a lot more, but also because of that, there was sort of less time for quality socialising, which is a shame, and that's sort of a thing, especially if it's your first year. Then you're going to want to talk to a lot of people, you're going to want to meet the famous YouTubers, and you're going to want to meet your friends, but because of that, you're just running from place to place, and you're not doing much quality stuff. But, you know, despite all that, it was my first time meeting a lot of people, a lot of friends who I'd only ever spoken to on Twitter before, or just watched their videos, or anything along those lines. So that experience was genuinely fantastic for a lot of reasons. One of which was a sense of community, a sense of place, and just feeling like, you know, this whole YouTube thing is worth it. Because I've been doing it for nearly 5 years now. I know, coming up to 5 years. Wow. But this is the first time I've ever felt sort of accepted and like I was part of a bigger thing. You know, I was nervously approaching people, and when they saw me from across a distance, they got excited to see me, which was hot damn. That's amazing. That's genuinely a great feeling of nervously approaching someone and having them run up and hug you. What? I'm still not over that. That's not quite hit me yet. But it's an amazing feeling, and I love it. It's starting to rain. But you know, this instant, just 2 days. 2 days was all it took for me to feel accepted into this weird, wonderful family. And that motivates me. Just feeling like what I'm doing is worth something. I met a wonderful man named Peter. Hi Peter, how are you doing? And, you know, just having that one person be like, hey, I really enjoy your stuff. That's enough to motivate me to make more. I can't quite put it into words, but if you felt it, you'll know it's beautiful. I was on the smaller YouTube panel. That's leading into a second point. What a segue. I was on the smaller YouTube panel, and Sam, Super Sam stuff, he said something which really resonated with me, and I'm going to misquote it because I don't have a perfect memory, but it was, is there a smaller YouTube community, or is there a YouTube community, more specifically? And he looked out to the crowd and said, well, you're all here. And you know, that summed it up. It's well done, Sam. Top notch with your words. You made me want to do this more. You made me want to put effort in. So thanks for that. So the second thing, the smaller YouTube panel. Neve did an excellent job of summing it all up. So I'm going to just put in a little clip, but I'm going to also link you to the full video in the description below, just summing up what the whole issue is. So yeah, that. Well, I was lucky enough not to be affected. I was lucky enough not to even consider it at the time. I'm quite privileged in that way, in that I don't even think about things like that. Until I spoke to Yasmin after the actual panel. I spoke to her and she brought it to my attention that, oh hey, people were affected negatively. And it really sucks. That genuinely sucks for just from a lot of different perspectives. It sucks that people were affected. It sucks that some people didn't feel comfortable. It sucks that this woman is being criticised for talking about something that's clearly very important to her. And, you know, there's a lot to say about it. But I think one of the main things is that there just needs to be a little bit more control in place to ensure, you know, to ensure that everyone's happy, to ensure that it's a safe space for everyone, a wonderful environment for discussion, and that no one feels limited. No one feels not welcome, you know, all that. Because it was a good discussion. It was a genuinely brilliant topic about a great many things to do with recovery from eating disorders and negative feelings to do with depression and the like. And it was really very informative and interesting for someone like me who doesn't think about it much because they haven't gone through it or they don't quite know someone who's gone through it. So it was just the wrong place. The wrong place, the wrong time. But it was an excellent discussion. And it was talked about well, from what I can tell. And you know, this isn't even... A lot of people seem to be sort of harping at her. It's not an attack on her. She's... I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. But she clearly does the same thing I do, which is she just kept talking. And she just wouldn't stop. And no one stopped her. So she just carried on. And I do it too. I prattle on. God knows my friends know I prattle on about something that interests me until the cows come home. I can talk for England. So I do feel bad for her. But I also feel bad for all the people who had to leave early because, ooh. And there are two sort of main things that I'd like to bring to the discussion. First of all, one, isn't it the chair's job, the chair of the panel, not the seating arrangements, isn't it the chair's job to sort of moderate the discussion? I believe it was Sam who was chairing, but maybe, I don't know, has he ever chaired before? I literally have no idea how much experience he has or how much control he has in that position. But could somebody not have stepped in and said, hey, maybe get back on topic, maybe don't make people uncomfortable with what you're saying, maybe give some sort of warning to what you're about to say, because the main problem is that no one was warned that topic would come up. Because how can you how can you provide content warnings on a live discussion that can go anywhere? You can't really. So you sort of got to moderate your own words, which it can be difficult if you have the problem of just chattering on and going on tangents. So it's interesting. But the second thing is the smaller YouTube panel in general was too broad. Small YouTube isn't a topic. Small YouTube is a category. And there was 1 hour. It overran by quite a bit, and I was partially to blame because my question was the one that sort of overran it, and then it continued on, and even I had to leave early because I wanted to go and see the main stage. But it's a very broad category, and you can't just have an hour's discussion on that. You've got to have a topic to discuss. Say, the small YouTube perspective on X, or the small YouTube's approach to Y. That kind of thing, rather than just small YouTube, which they ended up talking about their own channels and their own communities, which was interesting, don't get me wrong. But if there had been a topic to discuss, rather than a general have a chat, I feel this could have been avoided. So, Summer in the City 2017, Who knows? We might see an improvement. We might just see a repeat performance. However, I'll be there because I loved it this year. I really genuinely did. And I want to go again next year. So thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts on this topic, leave them in the comments below. Tweet me at gregamiah, or just make a video of your own. I strongly encourage that. So, yeah. See you in the next vid. Bye guys.